Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Culturally Controversial Podcast. I'm your guest host, Mr. Ty H. And we have the return of the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. D. Rome. Welcome back.
What's going on? It's been a long time.
Hey, but you're
I'm
back, and
ready.
that's all that matters, man.
It's on. It's the right time to come back too.
Yeah, man, this is a very special episode. Most of you know that we usually go live on Thursdays, but today we had some breaking news that kind of hit shockwaves in the Carolinas. So we decided to come on and discuss this today. Your usual host, Simply Nicholas 87, Mr. CCP himself, he's running some errands. He'll be back. He'll be on this podcast shortly, but I'm going to go ahead and get things kicked off. I'm sure most of you know that the Carolina Panthers fired head coach Matt Rule earlier today after a 1-4 start to the season and a 37-15 loss to the San Francisco 49ers yesterday. Mr. Tepper decided to go in a different direction, and he named Steve Wilkes the interim coach to carry the team out for the rest of the season. D-Ron, man, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on all this? How do you unpack all this? Tell me what's on your mind.
First and foremost, as a Panther fan, I'm gonna say this. And I was listening to a lot of interviews today after the fact. The thing is, over the years, as long as we've been in a franchise, which is almost going on 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
think about the fan base and how they grow. Think about, I would say, 5 years ago and how immense of a fan base we were. Like, we were just as, proud about our team, just like a Cowboy or a Eagles fan. Like even today, I was listening to an interview. I can't think of the guy's name, but he said like he lived in Carolina for 3 years. He see how serious fans are about this organization. So hearing the call that's been pretty much going on for almost the last year or so, fire Matt Rule, I think the voice has finally been heard by us. So now I think the job that Mr. Tepper has to do is now really understand what this team is about and what we have built over years. The mantra, keep pounding, that's us. We're going to keep moving through this. This year, yes, we might not be still a winning organization, but it's starting right now. The rebuild of our pride, our joy, the sense of how we are as fan base, as a team, we're getting a new look starting today.
I couldn't have said it better. One thing I want to say is that was a bad hire from the start. I think it was a situation where you hired this college hotshot, and I think the issue with Rule is that he came in having been a successful college coach, coming into the NFL, and I think there was this level of arrogance and level of entitlement, like I know what I'm doing, and everyone's going to listen to me, and this is my show. And it seemed like there was never a true effort to fully engrave himself into the culture of the community. It's like, speaking of the keep pounding, under his regime, that was de-emphasized. It seemed like under him, he wanted to be more about his system than the players. Also, there was this nepotism-like feel that he had when he was just bringing all of his former college, well, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of his former college players on the team. Like, he brought in a lot of Temple and Baylor guys, and it seemed more like he wanted to run a good old boys club than to build a winning franchise. And it seemed like his ego got the best of him. There was never stability on the offensive line and never stability at the quarterback position. I think he wanted to bring his imprint in and say, I'm the new sheriff in town, no pun intended for my folks in Anson County. He said, I'm the new sheriff in town, and I'm going to put my imprint down, and it's going to be my way. The first step was, and I'm not going to beat the Cam Newton horse, but you got rid of him, and you brought in Teddy Bridgewater. As soon as things went south, he threw Teddy Bridgewater under the bus. Even though that was a horrible roster they had around Teddy Bridgewater, he threw him under the bus, traded him to the Broncos, then traded for Sam Darnold, a guy who had done absolutely nothing with the New York Jets but had high draft pick pedigree. You brought him in, that goes south. Once that goes south, you call up Cam Newton with like 6 games left in the season. You call him up, bring him up off the couch, put him behind that awful offensive line. You only won 1 game and none of them in which he started. And then you try to bring him back during the offseason, and he didn't want to come back. Now you go out and you trade for Baker Mayfield, another former high draft pick who was considered a failed experiment with the franchise he was drafted by. You bring him in, and you're still having the same struggles after there was talk of how much things were expected to be better. And this is in year 3. Not only have you done that, last year in the middle of the season, you fired your offense coordinator, Joe Brady. You also fired some people you fired Chase Blackburn, your special teams coordinator. So you're firing assistant coaches. It's like, and I remember last year you were throwing your quarterbacks under the bus. It's like there was no accountability, and he was blaming everyone except for himself. And eventually, he got to a point where he ran out of excuses. And it ultimately cost him his job. He would give you the rah-rah BS every week, and you would still get the same results. Here's some damning stats. Of course, his record was 11-27, but worst of all, the one I kept hearing floated around all day. He was 1-26 in games in which the opponent scored 17 or more points. That's atrocious. That means 17 points is considered a low point total in the NFL. Typically speaking, a defense looks at a successful performance by holding a team to less than 70. An elite defense looks at a successful performance as holding a team to 17 points or less. A good defense, if you hold a team to 20 points or less, is considered in the NFL a good performance. So we're saying that when a team scored 17 or more points, we're only 1-26. So that's saying that even when you had good defensive play, your offense was atrocious and you still cannot score enough points. That means that out of those, there were 28 games in which you didn't even score, or we'll say 27 games in which you didn't even score 17 points in that time frame. That lets you know that your offense is atrocious. Last year, you had 3 different starting quarterbacks. This year, you're going to at least 2 because P.J. Walker's starting Sunday. In year 1, you went with Teddy Bridgewater and threw him in the bus. I think the common denominator, you brought in different people. You brought in different personnel. You had a solid pass rush last year, a decent pass rush this year. Your defense is still bad against the run. That hasn't gotten better, and that's probably why Phil Snow also got fired. It was rumored that Phil Snow and Steve Wilks were odds, and I can see why. Steve Wilks is a proven NFL defense coordinator and got shafted as a head coach when he was with the Arizona Cardinals. Phil Snow is nothing but a college defense coordinator, and this man here who has a ton more of NFL experience is having to work under this man. I can understand that. Now Steve Wilks is the interim head coach. I don't expect much because Steve Wilks is kind of like in Cam Newton's situation last year. You're throwing him there as the season's going on when everything is already pretty much lost, when everything is already headed on a downward spiral. I'm still happy for him to get that opportunity. There are talks that Sean Payton may be the guy that the franchise is looking for. And I want to ask you, what do you think about that? Who do you think the next Panthers full-time head coach should be?
That's a tough one. I would say I'll definitely would probably be more inclined to go with Sean Payton because, his past experience and what I've seen he did with a lot of players with the Saints and how he actually made an offense work. Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City will probably be another candidate of mine, just because he's been, highly talked about in the NFL ranks and all across, a bunch of media circuits when it comes to about his ability to make plays or call plays for Kansas City. I feel like for sure one thing definitely has to be an NFL coach with experience.
Correct.
No college coaches, and I will say this is because it's been proven. Look at all the great college coaches that we have seen try to venture into the NFL. It doesn't work.
Even Nick Saban, it didn't work for.
Yeah, and that is the prime, the back there of all when it comes to coaches of college, teams. That they are showing you that they're not made for this type of system, especially when it comes to the NFL. I feel like even if Wilkes, stays with the team, definitely you might want to keep him on as a coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be a good, if you bring someone in, definitely keep him on there because I think at least he'll still have the rapport of the team going into next year. But definitely you're gonna have to get a coach that knows how to balance everything when it comes to both understanding what's going on with offense and definitely, you know, understanding how to hit areas that are needed, especially when it comes to defense. Definitely, I would say, you know, someone like Sean Payton, because they're more offensively minded, so they definitely will know how to kind of get the offense going. But like you said, that 1 in 26, 1 in 26. They showed up. When you talking about that stat, I saw a stat. We were like 1 out of 4 NFL teams within probably the Super Bowl era, I think, if I ain't mistaken, that has that type of record, losing record, with that amount of points being allowed to beat us. That's a shame, man. And like you said, week in, week out, we heard this BS about we getting better. We getting better. I see it. We getting better. What are you seeing that everybody else is seeing?
The results were still the same.
Yeah, and that's my point. So I definitely go back to that. I definitely think that we need to go. If my recommendation, I think Sean Payton should be your top choice going into this new year.
I respect all of that. And what I will say, when it comes to college coaches, I will say that Jimmy Johnson was an exception. And Barry Switzer was his top assistant and won a Super Bowl as well with Jimmy Johnson's team. So I do want to make that clear. But for the most part, more times than not, it's a struggle for college coaches to have success in the NFL. And I think one of the reasons is because a college coach, when they're coaching a college program, they have complete institutional control. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they're the king of the domain. Whereas in the NFL, things are a little bit different. When you have a star quarterback can get you fired in the NFL, whereas in college, you control that kid's future, at least up until recent years with NIL stuff. But I'm talking traditionally, historically. So I agree with that portion of what you said. As far as Sean Payton, I agree with Charles Hawley, and I agree with you. He's a proven head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach. If you look at what Drew Brees did, when Drew Brees was with the Chargers, he was a solid quarterback, but he wasn't thought of as a Hall of Fame level talent. Drew Brees had a career-threatening injury, which is why the Chargers didn't sign him back. The Dolphins were going to sign him, but after they consulted the doctors on his shoulder, they got weary and decided not to sign him and rescinded the offer. And then the Saints picked him up on a leap of faith, and he turned Drew Brees into an MVP caliber player. And now Drew Brees will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And this man won a Super Bowl with Drew Brees, a Drew Brees that the league at the time had cast it off. So we know he could develop players as well. And we know that he can win at a high level. He's proven it. As far as Eric Bieniemy is concerned, I'm getting frustrated with how he keeps getting passed over for jobs. Mm-hmm. This guy continues to coordinate one of the best offenses with a historically great quarterback, and yet he's not given any kind of credit whatsoever, and he gets passed over. So he's definitely a guy who I think deserves consideration. A guy that we haven't mentioned, a guy that we saw yesterday who led the defense that beat us. If you want to go defensive and want to kind of go back to that physical smash mouth style, maybe a D'Amico Ryans could be an option, man. You see his enthusiasm. He looks like a leader. You see the way the players gravitate towards him and the way he can rally the guys under him. And you see the way that 49ers defense is aggressive. I think we need someone who fits the mold of the community. That keep pounding mode that's a slogan, but it also embodies the personality of the community. This is a down south, blue collar, grit and grind it type community. And the style of football, typically when we had success, it reflected that same grit of the personality of the community. And a guy like D'Amico Ryans, who has coordinated that physical defense in San Fran, I think his style would embody that grit and that grind. So I think, and my man Nick is back, but I think that would embody that grit, that grind, and I think that would be a good fit as well. So I think you can go either way on that. That's still, and he has NFL experience. He was a middle linebacker for the Texans for years. That may be a good fit as well. I'm going to read what Charles said. They fired Ron Rivera, who was a better all-around coach from the jump. Matt Rule was a problem. Hindsight is 20/20, but I felt from the jump that he wasn't committed when he called the Giants back. That's a fair point. And don't get me wrong, I did not mind the dismissal of Ron Rivera. He got problems up there with Commanders now. He better be get that turned around, maybe next week or something. We'll hear something about him.
Yeah.
I did not mind the dismissal of Ron Rivera. It's just that the replacement wasn't the right hire. Tepper this time has to get the right hire, because if he gets it wrong this time, you set your franchise back 5 years. So you got to get the hire right. As far as Matt Rule, I never thought he was genuine. I thought he was a politician, a salesman, and a guy who would say whatever that he felt sounded good, whatever he felt the people want to hear, just like a politician does, to pander. But I think right now the good things, we moved on from him. We know this season may not turn out to be what we wanted it to be, but at least now we have some closure on that Rule era, and now at least we have something to look forward to. And the host of the program, Mr. Simply Nichols 87, Mr. Culturally Controversial Podcast, has arrived, and I humbly yield the floor back over to our gracious host.
Oh man, you go ahead, man. I'm enjoying this. Oh happy day. Oh happy day.
When Jesus was.
Listen, man. I want to.
He washed Matt Rule away.
I come in with a couple jokes, because if I had told you Matt Rule was getting fired, I'd have said Lauryn Hill was performing live in the concert, and she actually did. So Matt Rule was fired.
Did she show up on time?
She actually did.
Whoa!
Oh. Yeah, that might have been your sign right there.
That was the sign.
Lauryn Hill, she may not come when you want to, but she'll be there right on time.
Hey, look, this is a good start in the right direction. Maybe Mr. Tepper sing with the crowd. Man, I ain't never, and I say this because I know, I think that Tepper saying that how the attendance was in the last 2 years.
Well, look at yesterday.
Yesterday was bad.
There was a sea of red in our stadium.
That was pitiful, man. I was ashamed to watch that game. Not the fact necessarily because we weren't playing good. I'm looking at the stadium, and all you see is red. Like
it was like a road game.
Yeah, a home game.
That right there is, he made a point up today. If you listen to his interview, I don't know if anybody listened to his interview today. Well, not interview, but his press conference rather. Mm-hmm. And that was one of his things. He was like, yesterday he saw the crowd. Like, he just saw it. Like, that the fans ain't behind what you got in place right now.
No.
And I think that was out of protest. I think a lot of those fans did that on purpose to show him, like, if you don't make a change, this is what you're going to see.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a protest, because I don't know if you go online and check ticket prices. I mean, I've been hearing people, been going to the games cheap. I mean, I'm talking about in the first level is $50. And
and people been selling tickets online lately. Like,
man, they gonna be that cheap, man. I might grab me when they come back home again.
I'm gonna see how they are gonna be that Thursday night game. That's the game I want to see because they're all black. But
they never win in the all. Oh, but they're gonna have the black helmets on this time.
Yeah, that's something I want to see. I mean, if they don't win, I just want to be there to see that moment in live.
When's that game?
Thursday night, November 11th, but 10th.
Oh, by that time the tickets ought to be about $5.
That's what I see.
Hey, what time? Who they playing?
The Atlanta Falcons. So
that might be a pretty good game to go to.
Hey, we're gonna see Tim Horn.
Yeah, see Tim.
Anson County native. So
I got looking at that.
that. That might be the move, man.
Yeah.
And I want to answer Charles's question. He asked about how do we feel about Tepper? Do we feel that he's a football man or just a man with money? I mean, I've questioned him, man, because I think he wants a successful franchise, and I think he wants to put the franchise in position to be a consistent winner. But I don't think that he's a football person. But that's not the problem. The issue, most of these billionaire owners are not football people. The key is to hire the right football people.
The right liaisons, right VP operations. You need that knows
personnel.
The game.
Right. That's what you hire a GM for. That's what you hire a VP of personnel for. I have no problem with Scott Fitterer. I think because at the end of the day, Rule was the one who had the final say so on the roster. I think Scott was doing a good job and is doing a good job, which is why he still has his job. I think more of the head coach was incompetent here. I think if we get a competent head coach, I think it'll be a good marriage between the coach and GM. So to answer your question, Charles, no, I don't think that Tepper's a football guy. And yes, I think he's a guy who likes to flex his money. and wants to be, and who's this big billionaire mogul. So, but at the same time, that's not necessarily a problem. The issue is he needs to make sure he make the right hires this time.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it from this point too. As far as I know, this year it is what it is. This year, going into next year, do you take that option to find a good quarterback, a franchise quarterback at this point? Because you got 2 sitting ducks right now.
Yeah,
and
I
I think that's the
mean,
important part.
we're not going to win any more games, so
Yeah.
hey, it's us and the Pittsburgh Steelers right now for the race for the race for number one, the number one pick.
You know they're not going to go for a quarter. I don't think they're going for a quarterback, but well, you're right. You're right.
What has Kenny Pickett showed you?
He played. He ain't got. Well, yeah. Yesterday was bad. 3 and 37. You beat.
And we know Mitch Trubisky's not the answer.
Oh yeah, definitely he's not the answer.
Dwayne Haskins is going on to be with the Lord, unfortunately. Yeah. For us down here, we can't see him. So they got a lot of options.
Who's coming out this year? I guess they'll be the better
question. Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
There's another one too. That's a big time. Another big time player that's at the QB position supposed to be coming out. I can't remember who he is though. They were talking about on the radio today.
Yeah.
God, somebody help me out.
Options. Well, as long as it ain't Ungalele.
Who?
Ungalele. Who was his name? DJ.
Oh, DJ Uiagalelei. Nah, he won't even be no. Man, he'll probably like a 6th rounder or something.
Yeah, he'll be something.
Hey, but he's not playing that bad, but he ain't no first pick in the draft. No.
That's why I said they better not waste the draft pick on it. If I can get that number 1 pick, you might as well go get Bryce Young. You need a quarterback.
And we know Uiagalelei not a 1st round quarterback, but I'm talking about who else is coming out that's supposed to be pretty good.
And that's my point, kind of to that point. Like, that's gambling trying to go for a quarterback this year. Now, maybe 2-3 years from now.
If you get Bryce Young, you got
Wake Forest.
Yeah, you can get him.
God, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
He's pretty good. I like him.
I'm trying to think of what other quarterbacks they're talking about, like on Heisman type level right now.
Well, one that I know they ain't gonna get there is Shador, but he may. I think Sanders. He got probably another 2 years in him.
Yeah, you talking about Jackson State?
Yeah.
How tall is he?
6'2", right?
Yeah, 6'2". He leading FBS in passing yards, actually.
He ain't in FBS, he in the FCS.
Well, FCS.
Yeah.
Pretty much he's about leading college football in passing.
Yeah, but and I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying Jackson State's FCS school. One of the best FCS schools in the country. Don't get me wrong.
Right, yeah.
So because we can't
make it. I think he'll get there. I just don't know when. Like, I don't think it'll be this year. He's not gonna be.
He probably could have gone to an FBS school, but he just wanted to play for his dad. So
yeah. It worked out.
But I think Bryce Young can be that kind of prospect at least. And we know college NFL it could be as a different transition, but based on what we've seen, I think that's the guy you got to consider.
Oh yeah, he'll be the number 1 option if you can get.
Yeah, good quarterbacks. Like when you talk about a franchise quarterback, you talking about someone to build your future around. We can't trade for somebody again.
And you also probably gonna need a running back eventually. A running back.
Yeah, well, McCaffrey has stayed upright so far.
I mean, I'm saying like
he's not
a pounder.
Yeah, you need to get a pounder to go with.
You need a pounder to go along with it. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't really have to go in the draft to get a pounder. You can actually find one that's pretty decent somewhere. Somebody.
Yeah, they're pounders out there. If a guy like Latavius Murray was just a little bit younger, that would be a guy I would look at. But he might be over 30 by now, so I don't know if you want to go down that road.
Yeah.
I wish Pollard was a pounder. They could if Pollard was I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep Pollard. They're gonna let him They're keeping Pollard. He's the better back anyway. But Pollard's not a pounding back either. The Pollard's more of a.
Yeah, and you know what? As bad as it sounds, no matter if we get the first pick, I might trade it down and then draft another lineman. Like you drafted a left tackle, I might draft a right tackle or draft a guard or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because that's how Dallas built their offensive line at the time. They went like 4 straight years in the draft, just drafting offensive line. And they built that massive offensive line.
Yeah.
But it worked out for them for a couple of years.
Yeah, but they still got a good O-line. They got a hell of a defense too.
Yeah. Top 5.
The defense is probably
Because think about it, yeah, we need a quarterback, but at the same time, what if there's a top pass rusher available? Because think about it, you still need help there too.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, you can't just go all in on quarterback. Wherever you're picking at, if the right quarterback is available, yeah, take him. But let's say if Bryce Young, let's say you get the third pick and Bryce Young is already gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, trade down and get a center, trade down and get a guard, trade down and get a right tackle, trade down and get another edge rusher, or draft another edge rusher with that pick. Because you should have signed Hassan Riddick back. That was one of the rules college players that you should have signed back.
And that was kind of the me. I never understood that. I thought he was a short lock in for.
He had like 12.5 sacks last year, and you let him go. And Philadelphia is thriving off of him now.
Oh yeah,
he might have seen something that that might be something he's seen. I feel like that. I don't know. He knew.
And speaking of player development, if you look at this lets you know what coaching to do. You look at Jalen Hurts, who people, including me, thought wouldn't translate as an NFL quarterback. And look at what he's doing now. That shows you the difference of what coaching can do.
Yeah. They already wrote him off like he wouldn't even be playing starting this year if he messed up again. He's 5-0.
Yeah.
Yep. Going to
and they had Carson Wentz and people went crazy when they replaced Carson Wentz with him. And Carson Wentz. And now I do not want Carolina. If Matt Rule's still here, what he would do is in offseason he would have traded for Carson Wentz. I know him like a book.
Oh yeah, that would have been his next choice. I would say he would have been the top throwing the bus candidate because which call was definitely going to be his throwing the bus candidate this year.
Oh, talking about Baker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Baker ain't playing with him now either.
I don't know wasted that. I just kept what I had.
Yeah, but Sam's still not ready to come back yet. So
I mean, you couldn't have got no worse than what
PJ can put up 20 points. Not saying we'll win. If PJ can put up 21 points.
The good thing is the LA Rams offensive line is really struggling right now. They got a lot of injuries on the O-line.
Yeah.
Their O-line is really struggling. Our man Brian Burns should be able to get off in that game. Oh, yeah. And if we get Uvu back, he's not bad either. Those guys like that should be able to get off against the Rams. But
get some short yard possessions with that too.
Yeah, so we everyone's just I'm a firm believer that you got to play the game.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's like, well, there's no way they're going to beat the Rams. I'm like, you got to play.
Yeah.
Are they going to be favored to win the game? No, but you still got to play. Who would have thought the Giants would have beat the Packers Sundays? I mean.
Not me.
And who thought Giants would be 4-1? That's another thing.
That comes down to coaching. Because if you look at the roster, talent-wise, if you look at personnel-wise, they're not that good, and they shouldn't be a 4-1 team based on the personnel they have. That lets you know game management and coaching that matters.
Quarterback. Look at the quarterback.
Garbage.
And he's not even that good. But good coaching and good game management. Because if you look at their roster. If you look at our roster, you would think that our roster is better than their roster. Is that a fair assessment?
On paper, like man, this is
on paper. 11. And if you look at the Panthers game, the reason I mentioned coaching the game management because of the loss, we're 1-4. That Browns game was a game we lost on a 58-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
We lost to the 59-yard field goal. We lost to Giants like on a 58, 59, something like that. Close to 60-yard field goal. Yeah. Who else did we lose to?
The Saints. Did y'all play Saints yet?
We beat Saints.
We played. Jesus, I lose track of who we losing to.
Yeah, who we lost to last week?
We played.
Was it Atlanta?
No, it wasn't Atlanta. It was out west team. I feel like it was Arizona.
We blew that game. We led like for 3 quarters in that game.
10 when he threw, was it that pick he threw? When he threw that pick, I said, that's it.
Right. So the point is, of the 4 games that we lost, 3 of them you could argue that we should have won. 3 of them, it was either tied or we led late in the game, or at least we lead in the 3rd quarter. That's Arizona game. We led 3 quarters of that game.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday was on a game where we just got beat decisively. Yeah. So the point I'm making is with better coaching and game management, those games could have been won. Because if you look at the Giants games, they won games like down the stretch with just better game management and better coaching. Mm-hmm. So with us, it's always something, a bad penalty like by C.J. Henderson or a missed tackle or something like that leads to something. On offense, batted down pass or an overthrow, that type of thing. Because Baker was not accurate at all yesterday, and that pick six right before halftime was a killer.
Yep.
So when you're not getting good game management, that's what happens. So no matter what we say about the Giants, you are what your record says you are. Therefore, one. Someone might say that we have the better personnel. We're 1-4, and people and rules like trying to say that, hey, I think we're better than what we've shown. But again, you're like Bill Parcells always said, you are what your record says you are. This is the National Football League. There is no college football playoff committee looking at strength of schedule and any of that crap. You play the games, you win, you lose, or you tie.
That's it.
And most of the time you win or you lose. We played 5 games, we lost 4 of them. The Giants played 5 games, they won 4 of them. There's nothing more to be discussed. As far as what happens as the season goes on, that can change at some point. And oh man, this topic right here, this is hitting my heart. Let me read. You want to read that out, Nick?
Sure. You know, I don't care. Perfect point reason why Ralph Jackson needs help. Coaching and game management. Come on, Anson, athletic director. Give the man some help.
There it is. I ain't even gonna say nothing else.
We've been preaching this since
So we've been started.
Yeah, pretty much.
I talked to the athletic director Friday because I was talking to him and I was talking to Coach Fred Davis. I was actually talking to Forest Hill assistant principal Jared Gatewood. He's a former Richmond Senior player and he's an assistant principal at Forest Hill. So I told him, naturally, you're my enemy. You played at Richmond Senior and you're the assistant principal at Forest Hill. I said, man, we shouldn't be friends. But anyway, me and him and Fred Davis were just sitting around talking about the old days. And I saw Coach Jordan, athletic director. And by the way, I'm Coach Jordan's always been kind to me. I think, Nick, when you've met him, he's always been nice and cordial as well. Yeah. So I called Coach Jordan over there, and I told him, and Coach Jordan could tell you this, and Coach Davis could tell you this. I said, Coach Jordan, I said, when this man ran the program, it was only standing room only. I said, this stadium that we're standing in was built on his shoulders by his teams. I said, so I'm about to say, we need to make sure we honor this man. I said, this man, and he was like, I know that. He said, I appreciate everything you've done, Coach. And he shook Coach Davis and he said, Coach, you know I appreciate you. And I'm hoping that was sincere because, and if it is sincere, he needs to be treated like it. Because this man, he had a staff. When he had resources, he had multiple coaches on his staff to go on to be head coaches. This staff here, and Ralph, you know I love you, man, but your staff is trash. And you don't have any help and you don't have any resources.
No, you don't.
And the thing about it, and Ralph, you're a good man, and I think you know football. I'm not. I think you just don't have any resources, and it's not all your fault. You haven't been dealt a full deck. You got 6 coaches that you're dealing with. You got Coach Hyatt, and then after that, the rest of what you have is very little. And and like you even told us, there's no way we can expect those kids to get the adequate coaching they need when you don't have enough paid coaches. And right now, every Friday is showing. I'm not going to get into the Anson Forest Hill game. It was what it was. Anybody who was there saw what happened. Anybody who didn't see what happened, there was a lot of sloppiness. And, it is what it is. But and then, Wendell, I appreciate the compliment, man. I don't think coaching is my expertise, but I do have 2 eyes, and we can see sloppiness, and we know sloppiness when we see it. And we also, you can tell when a group of kids are not getting what they need. And the thing about it, the man who's leading them, he's a good man. He wants them to be successful, and the effort on his part has been there. And the thing is, he hasn't been provided the resources he needs. And at this point, it doesn't look like he's going to get those resources. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's a great man. He's a guy that all of us want to see do well. One thing about him, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Democrat, or Republican. I think everybody likes him and they understand he's a good man. They want to see him succeed. However, right now, the results haven't been there. It's been a myriad of reasons why I hadn't been there. But as of right now, it's because of lack of resources. It's been seemed like it's been a lot of people. I'm not going to say a lot of people. I feel like the people in leadership at the school have not adequately provided him with the resources he needs. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles. Charlie, I do love. I love football, especially. I love the Carolina Panthers. I love the Charlotte 49ers, and I love the Anson County Bearcats.
Well, as Cats fans, Panthers, Bearcats, We just seen them depleting like the
Hey, well,
crowd.
don't leave my Charlotte 49ers out there. We suck too. So I mean, we're
Well,
gonna go there.
I mean, y'all probably packing the house out a little bit though.
Man, Will Healy needs to be fired, just like Matt Rule. Will Healy ain't nothing but an old salesman. He could tell you, he could say some good stuff, but he got to go. So I'm hoping that Charlotte 49ers are looking to dismiss him, and if and when they dismiss him, I think the perfect replacement will be Alfonso Pep Hamilton, former West Charlotte quarterback graduate, former Indianapolis Colts offense coordinator, former Stanford offense coordinator, former Michigan offense coordinator, former Maryland offense coordinator, and former head coach in the XFL. So this guy has experience at the highest level. He's a local guy who understands the community, will understand how to recruit in the community, and understand how to unite the community. And he's a guy who's actually knowledgeable, not just some salesman cheerleader, but a guy who has real experience and has had success in college football and in the NFL. And I think Pep Hamilton will be the perfect choice to replace Will Healy at UNC Charlotte. Charlotte administration, athletic director Mike Hill, if you're listening, if somebody you know is listening, get the message to Mike Hill. Dismiss Will Healy. Bring in Pep Hamilton, and let's turn things around and bring pride to the University of North Carolina at Charlotte.
So what time did y'all find out about the news of
Man, I found out when Darren hit me up. I was like, yo, he's gone.
Literally, they was on 610. It's basically like, yeah, we just waiting to see if it's gonna happen. They were kind of like saying,
I was listening to 610 this morning too. But go ahead.
Yeah, jokingly saying it like, yeah, we're just waiting in a minute now, and they're like, oh, it did really happen. He's fired. Like,
you know what's so funny? I was listening to 610 right before you hit me up, but I just walked in the house because I left to go get some breakfast, and I was listening to 610, and I heard them joking about it too. And then I walked in the house, like 5 minutes after I got in the house, you hit me up and said he's gone. And I heard what you heard, and then
so
we said he's gone.
The rumor circulated yesterday?
Like,
well, I won't say it was circulating, but I feel like there was something that. Well, I would put it this way. Tepper's. He ain't really a good communicator when it comes to trying to be more efficient how he makes his message out to everyone. But I can say this: he probably knew going into this game, yesterday's game, that if he didn't win, he's out the door. Because I think they said he didn't make a comment about like being there or how his future was yesterday during his press conference.
I listened to that press conference, but go ahead.
But I feel like he knew beforehand that this was it, meaning Rule. I think he knew he was done as of yesterday.
You know what, Darren? When at his press conference, I listened to it on WFNZ. When I watched the game at my homeboy's house in Concord. When I was on the way back, I was listening to the press conference. And I remember he said they asked him, "Has Tepper given you any assurance or reassurance about your future?" He said, "Guys, come on." He said, I always try to be forthright with you guys." He said, "I try to be forthright with you guys." He said, "I understand you have to ask." He said, "But I don't want to I just want to talk about this game. I want to talk here about football." He said, I don't want to make this about me. I think it'll be a disservice to all the players and all these men in the locker room if I made this about me. So I just want to keep the conversation about football. I hope you guys understand." That's what he said last night.
That's
in
his
y'all's opinion, did y'all see him getting fired this early in the season or at the end of the year?
I saw it coming.
I saw it coming too, because he fired Rivera with like 5 games left or something like that.
Yeah, I'm saying like this early. I was saying like midway, I'll probably like, yeah.
If he would have lost that Saints game, I think he would have been done then.
Yep.
I think the Saints.
What did Jay-Z song say? He said, "What the hell are you waiting for?"
Yeah. Nah, what probably did it added all up yesterday with the loss, like you said, all the people in red out there, because that was a
and it wasn't knee-jerk reaction. It's the culmination of things. You're talking about the first 2 seasons, 5 wins apiece.
Yep.
And then you get this year. You're supposed to be better. You're supposed to be better last year. Last year you got off to a 3-0 start and then collapsed. Then you come back this year, you're supposed to build off that and be better. And then you get off to the start you got off to, and 3 of your 4 losses were games that you lost down the stretch, which is bad game management.
You're 15th. You're 15th in rushing. You're dead last in the NFL in total offense.
That right, that speaks volumes.
That speaks volumes right there.
So that one more time.
Last in offense.
What more can I say?
I mean, that's all you can do at that point, man.
He's a numbers man, right? I'm talking about Tepper. He's a hedge fund guy, right? So
hedge fund guy. He know the numbers.
You know, numbers don't lie. That's the
one thing about it. We know he got the money to spend, so we know he got the money. But you got to make the right hire, man. You can't if like we were talking earlier. If Sean Payton hits you up like I want it, you got to give him a blank check and say how much.
Yep.
Yeah. You can't be no negotiation. It's got to be.
Because you got to look at the money you gave Rule. A guy like Sean Payton gonna say, if you pay him this much, you know you got to come at me better than that.
You better give me at least 80.
He's
you gave Rule 60.
He's a guaranteed winning coach.
Yeah, you gave Rule 60. So you know you gave a college hotshot 60. You know you got to give a Super Bowl winning coach at least 80, like you said. 80 just to even get him to pick up the phone to talk.
Yep. That's fair enough. I would give
if you're talking about 79, he gonna like send that to voicemail.
And you let him bring his own staff in.
I'd be like, I think.
Yeah, I would like to keep Steve Wilkes though. Like before you got here, Nick, Darren and I was saying we wouldn't mind keeping Steve Wilkes as defense coordinator.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he proven.
He's a proven coordinator. He didn't have no business working under Phil Snow from the get go.
Yeah,
they didn't fire him.
They fired him today.
Oh, okay.
Wilkes did.
Wilkes. That's funny. You got to be careful because you got to realize Wilkes was working under Snow, and Snow and Wilkes were at odds, and they were butting heads. And I think Snow was kind of being dismissive for Wilkes. Now Wilkes ended up being Snow's boss, and the first move he made is, "You're out of here."
Yeah.
He put that Vince McMahon on him.
Now he gonna feel some type of way. Like, he fired me for personal reasons.
So let me ask you this, T, of your personal opinion. Do you think? I mean, I know the offense has been atrocious. Let me say this: we all see that, but do you think Matt Rule's holding back any some when it comes to the offense?
Holding who back?
Ben McAdoo. You think he was causing issues?
No, I think they both suck. I thought that burst was left together. He got himself. Ben McAdoo didn't do a goddamn thing. He with the Giants.
No, he didn't.
The only reason he got that job is because he was the quarterbacks coach in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers' development had nothing to do with Ben McAdoo. Aaron Rodgers was a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's just like when you were coaching Peyton Manning. I'm talking about when a coach like Adam Gase.
Yeah.
When he was in Denver, everyone was talking about he was this QB guru. I'm like, he was there with Peyton Manning, who was already a 3-time league MVP. Yeah. And you just inherit that. When he had Tim Tebow, he was just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And now you got Peyton Manning there, and now everyone look at the numbers that Denver put up under Adam Gase. And then he ended up getting a head coach job. To me, when Ben McAdoo got the head coach job with the Giants, it was like the same thing like with Adam Gase. Like you're there with Aaron Rodgers, so it make it look like you're this great coach. He goes into Giants, doesn't do a darn thing. Even though he had a 2-time Super Bowl champion in Eli Manning, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, and couldn't do a darn thing with him. And then after he get fired, then we hire him and try to make him our offense coordinator. And so no, I think he's just cut from that same fabric, you know.
You think he's only there because you can't really change the offensive system?
Yeah, you got to realize Wilkes is a defensive guy. So who you gonna hire? I mean, who you gonna get now to be the offense coordinator?
Yeah,
I didn't think Joe Brady was all that bad last year.
I think Joe Brady's issue was Rule. I will say that.
Yeah, I think Joe Brady got scapegoated.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to Western Kentucky. He probably gonna go to East Mississippi Community College, most likely.
Western Kentucky got a head coach. They like their coach at Western. I'm actually familiar with Western Kentucky, so I can speak to this. Western Kentucky is happy. Charles Holler, you're a Western Kentucky fan or something? This is random as hell.
Jesus.
Because Western Kentucky, they got one of the best offenses in the country. In Western, I watch Western Kentucky because I'm a Charlotte 49ers, and Charlotte 49ers and Western Kentucky Hilltoppers in the same conference. So I see Western Kentucky every year. So I don't, unless their coach get another job, I doubt if he end up at Western Kentucky.
Do you think Rule get another job in the college?
I think Rule's going to end up in Nebraska.
It's a dynasty builder.
I think he's going to go to Nebraska. I think that'd be a great fit. He looks Nebraska-like.
Husky.
Corn Huskers. Yeah, I think because they fired Scott Frost. I think, and he's an excellent college coach. I ain't gonna say great, but excellent college coach. I think he'll go to Nebraska and get that program back to prominence.
He ain't go to Southern Miss.
I ain't going to Southern. Why Southern Miss?
No.
Southern. Anyway, we used to be in conference with Southern Miss, but they're in the Sun Belt now. But anyway, but I think Nebraska, only one in the room that knows about Western Kentucky. Yeah, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. They play in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Bobby Petrino coached him 1 year after he got fired from Arkansas. So yeah, Western Kentucky.
Let me ask this: well, they got a away game next week, right?
Who?
The Panthers.
Yeah, they travel to Inglewood at SoFi Stadium and take on the Los Angeles Rams, defending Super Bowl champions.
Okay, I would say this next home game that they have.
Alabama State. Don't get me started about DR, man. Alabama, that came in Alabama State and the name of that coach. But we'll leave that alone. We can talk about it.
I want to talk about that too.
Wait. Go ahead and say what you got to say first.
Let me say what I got to say first. Do you think the next home game will have a better turnout than now that they're gone? Some of them, not all of them.
Who they play next to home?
It's a good question. Somebody good question.
D-Rome guys.
I'm gonna pull it.
Hey man, folks, don't it feel good to have D-Rome back, man? Return of the Rome.
It's good to have that trio back on the panel.
Man, it's the return of the Rome, man. People have been asking for it, man. Hey, D, people were asking me like, yo, where the other guy needs to be with y'all at? Then somebody else asked me, a young lady friend of mine asked me about where's D-Rome, and I said we're gonna get him back before it's over with.
Oh yeah, school, man. School's been having me tied up, man.
Hey, I understand, man. You're a family man. You got school. You got work. I get it, man. But it ain't the same when D-Rone ain't there. It's a little different when we got the third man with us.
Oh yeah. I wasn't done. Just trying to, Thursday night's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Return up the Rome. Return up the Rome.
Better turn out at West Kentucky.
Mr. 45 will be entering the building when we come.
Who?
45. TB 45.
Oh Lord.
That's the, you talking about the former
Tampa Bay.
Oh, when you said 45, you know who I thought you took? Never mind. Never mind. I ain't getting into the politics. Right?
No, not that 45.
I'm like, you sound so happy about it too. I was like, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, one thing we know, we're not going to be allowed to sack him because we sack him.
You better put a flag on him.
That was the worst roughing the passer call I've ever seen. I've been on this for 34 years, and I've never seen a roughing the passer call that egregious.
I mean, I just don't. Well, I just feel like that's.
He said, "I'll call you Dr. Home." He thought that was because your name was together. He's like,
yeah, the way because that DR, Dr. Home.
Dr. Home.
It's that D wrong because DR HOAD. He thought a doctor, like the DR was doctor.
Yeah, but well, that was a bad call. That was a good tackle.
That was a horrible call.
That was a terrible call.
I mean, that's the. I put it this way: that tackle was the best tackle you could always.
That's textbook.
A textbook tackle.
Yeah, he didn't go high. He didn't go low. He wrapped him up right in the section and brought him to the ground. It's because of, and that let me talk about that damn Jerome Boger, that official. I don't like them because I remember when we were playing the Oakland Raiders years ago. Mike Mitchell, who used to play for us, was playing for the Raiders at the time. After Newton threw the ball, he came up and hit Newton high, and then drove shoulder first to the ground right in front of Jerome Boger, and he didn't call nothing. And Newton got in Jerome Boger's face. I never forget that. Now they tell me last week he made the same BS call against when Josh Allen got sacked, and then he did it when Tom Brady got sacked. To me, and Jerome Boger looks like us. It makes me think that he protects certain quarterbacks and certain quarterbacks he don't.
Or he playing with the house's money one. Whatever one floats your boat.
That Kanye West? I mean, that's Jerome Boger. I'm sorry.
But Jerome Boger, he should be suspended, should be fined, and should be barred from officiating in the postseason. They did that Ed Hockley one time. He blew a call against the Denver Broncos that cost him the game like that. It was where he blew the whistle when it should have been blown, and when Jay Cutler from the ball, but he said but the ball flew out the back of his hand, but he blew the whistle inadvertently, which gave them another shot to score the game-winning 2-point conversion or something like that. And he got suspended 2 games and was barred from officiating in the postseason. Something like that should be done with Jerome Boger too, man, because you can't just screw somebody like that. And then he still won't admit he's wrong. When they asked him about it, he said, "Well, you know what? He threw him to the ground." I'm like, so what? I mean, he was in this type of ground.
We supposed to hold him and lay him down like he going to bed or something.
You know, like he's a little baby boy. All right, good night, little fella.
Just lay him down like this gently, just grab him by the neck. Can't be. I don't know. That call was just terrible. I don't know what they.
That's the worst roughing the pass call I've ever seen. ever.
Yeah.
This is the worst call. I'm gonna put that in the top 5.
I can see if he picked him up and went over
Yeah.
He took him and just went down. They went down together.
Right.
Well, he didn't roll into him.
No, he just put him down.
That was it. It's because of Tom Brady, you're not allowed to touch him.
And that game, I don't know what the score was at the time.
Feel it at first.
If I was an opponent playing Brady, especially if I ain't got a chance to win the game, at this point, don't shock me if somebody does hit him dirty, not just for the heck of it.
Oh yeah,
I've been said that. I've been waiting on, and I don't want nothing like that to happen maliciously.
If Vontaze Burfict was still playing, it would have happened.
Oh, he would have got him. Yeah, he
would.
You
better be glad. What's his name ain't defensive coordinator no more down in
Greg Williams.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been gunning for Tom Brady. Tom Brady was retired.
And then the arrogant SOB when they asked him about it, he was like, I don't throw flags. I'm like, F you. What about that, Tom Brady? F you. Now why your wife leaving you?
Oh yeah. Hey, you see that book they got coming out?
No.
Yeah, he know what I'm talking about. You seen it. So Antonio Brown has a book coming out.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. You
got a picture of it?
No, I ain't got a picture of it. But I can tell you the title. What was the title? I can't remember.
And while you think about it, answer the call. You know Lamar Jackson would never get that call. They could run over him with the trailer. He wouldn't get called. But go ahead.
I gotta find that
call. He a running back at that point.
But even when he's in the pocket, constantly you get hit like that, actually throwing the ball in the pocket, and they still don't call it. But speaking of Alabama State, Coach Prime and Alabama State's coach Eddie Robinson Jr. And for the record, no relation to that Eddie Robinson. I want to make it clear he's not related to the former Grambling legend Eddie Robinson. The name is just coincidence. But he and Eddie Robinson Jr. had kind of a heated exchange during their handshake after Jackson State defeated Alabama State 26-12 Alabama State's homecoming. And so, of course, when you see the video, they meet in midfield, they shake hands, and when Deion reaches out to embrace him, Eddie Robinson holds his hand up and and then Deion, of course, is frustrated. He shoves him off. And when Eddie Robinson Jr. was asked about it in the press conference, he said that he felt that Deion said some disrespectful things during the week. Didn't like his demeanor. Didn't like the way he took the long way, walked through their huddle and everything to get to their sideline. And some of it I do think is saltiness, but Deion does have an arrogant demeanor about him. Always have. And whether Alabama State's coach is salty or not, the thing is he shook his hand. At that point, he's not required to hug him. He shook his hand, and he rejected the hug. I still think that Deion didn't have to shove him right there, because I'm like, at that point, he's not being aggressive. He just shook his hand and was going to move on. As far as the issue, do I think Alabama State's coach was salty? Yes, I think he was salty. Yes, I think he was just salty, but he didn't like Deion and was salty because he lost to him. I get all that, and I think they're like, yo, man, like, no, like, just let it go. But at that point, he still didn't do anything disrespectful. He shook his hand, and then he rejected the hug. As he rejected the hug, Deion's response to it made it worse when he shoved him off just because the dude didn't want to hug him. He's not required to hug him. So, yes, I think Alabama State's coach was salty. But at the same time, he's not required to hug him either. He shook his hand. It's not like he avoided him. Your thoughts?
Me? Oh, you go D. I tell you, but I let D get you got it.
I totally agree with you, T. Deion is Deion. So, we all know Deion since he's been known to be called Prime from Florida State. So, yeah. Do I expect less from him? Not really, but, again, like you said, yes, the Alabama coach probably is a little salty, maybe because of the reflection of what Deion is doing at Jackson State,
the attention he's getting in.
Yeah. But, he don't have to hug him. Absolutely. He did a fair thing as respect, shake his hand, keep it moving on to the next.
Yeah.
What do you expect? The man could just breeze by them and not did anything. But, it is one of those situations where, it's all emotions,
Mm-hmm.
They lost, and that's for that homecoming at that, I think, if I ain't mistaken.
It was.
It was
homecoming. So it was just a lot of emotion running through that, stadium and everything. So
yeah, you got Coach Robinson, you got to take the L, man. Just take the L, dude.
And to see And then not to bring it about race, but to see two black men kind of have that interaction where it should still be kind of all about love and teaching the kids about life and what you go through in life. I mean, it's kind of sad in a way, but also it's kind of like, what's the purpose of, why did they get that far? You know what I mean? For that to have that interaction. So it's hard to say. I mean, I saw it, I looked at it, I chuckled a little bit, then I just got to thinking about like, man, it's bigger than that. You know what I mean?
I put it like this. From what I've heard, they claimed that he thought Deion was finna need a ball or whatever, but they were still trying to score.
Yeah.
So I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. There's no mercy rule at that point. It's still a game.
Your defensive job is just to stop. You know what? Mount Pleasant did the same thing to Anson. They could have kneeled the ball down with like 30 seconds left, and they went ahead and scored another touchdown. And I said they could have kneeled the ball down, but at the same time, we had 11 guys on defense too.
Yep.
If they didn't want that to happen, they should have kept them out the dang on end zone.
Right. So if you mad about him running his offense still,
That's what I'm saying.
That man gonna want to put. He's trying to shut everybody out in that conference. So you might as well get used to that.
It's like this, man. If you don't want somebody to score a touchdown on you, all you gotta do is stop them.
Yeah, that's the number one team in the country. You
number one FCS team,
yeah. Be thankful you held them that low for points. 26.
Yeah, that's my point. Like it's a game.
You gotta take some kind of moral victory out of it, regardless of how you feel about it.
Yeah, but
the comments, the post game comments about, I'm swag, he's not swag.
Yeah, at that point, now it just sounds like you're being salty.
And that's why I said I didn't like that. I get what Deion came in his press conference said about the swag part, and I give him credit for that part. Like, you don't tell that guy he ain't swag.
Yeah.
What's swag sport? I mean,
he put y'all back on the map. They didn't play none of these games on TV.
Yeah, the only reason that people even know about this, that are looking at the SWAC from a national perspective, from the only reason that the SWAC is even getting national exposure is because of what Deion is doing. Like when he's recruiting guys like Travis Hunter, who's the top recruit in the country, to get him to commit to Jackson State. When you're getting big time transfers from major college program and from Power 5 conferences transfer to Jackson State, that's a big deal. So I mean, the exposure that the SWAC is getting. Even the exposure it's going to bring to the Celebration Bowl, which is the matchup between the SWAC and the MEAC champion in bowl season, even that, the exposure to that is more than likely Jackson State's going to be playing in that. Even that exposure is you could thank Deion for that exposure. No matter, do I think Deion's an arrogant prick? Of course he is, but you can't take away from what he's doing. And even Eddie Robinson Jr. even said he's doing a great job, and I can't take that away from him. Even that's the part people leave out. He also said I think his son should be that Deion's son is playing great, should be a Heisman candidate. He did say that. They said that about the SWAC when the only reason we're having this conversation about the Southwestern Athletic Conference, for those that don't know what SWAC stands for, the only reason we're having this conversation about the Southwestern Athletic Conference is because of Deion Sanders.
Absolutely. I mean,
man, y'all ain't playing no damn body yesterday.
We're not going to talk about the Jets. Okay, then another thing off topic, but I'm not being disrespectful, but we don't talk about the Jets. Another thing that's off topic is I just got a alert on my phone saying LaMelo Ball exited the preseason game versus the Wizards, but I don't have any details. D-Ron, if you don't mind, can you look into that and see what's going on?
I'm watching the games of speak. He suffered a ankle sprain. He walked off, so I don't know if I don't think it's serious because he walked off on his own will. He shot at free throws. So I think this is being more precautionary.
Cautious. Don't play him no more in the preseason.
Nah, this last game.
I would have set him
2 more games. This game and 1 more.
Okay. Yeah, I will go ahead and just wait to the 18th. Right now, speaking of that, which I don't know how everything's been going. Has anyone heard about Miles Bridges' situation?
He was in Detroit last, I thought. And nothing.
I don't have nothing for you.
I just wonder if the court case get pushed back.
He's gonna be at another court.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see how that works out for
him. Speaking of basketball, I know it's
Lord, I know it's coming.
It's coming. Trying to talk some NBA a little bit, it's coming. I'm hurt.
What?
I'm still hurt.
What about it?
Nah, man, ain't really. Wait,
Oh, look what Charles Holly said. Hold up.
can we talk about that? Oh,
Man, Sean's my buddy, man.
we can't talk about that. This is a family show. We cannot talk about that.
Sean Willer's our friend, man. We're not gonna talk bad about him.
He's a good dude. Hard, like you said, hardworking man. Actually,
Hardworking
LeBron
family
fan,
man, Christian man.
Actually, related to my wife. He's my wife's cousin.
And he's my classmate. I ain't got nothing bad to say about Sean Willer, man. Hey,
He's
Sean Willer, if you
he's a
listen to me,
diehard fan. That's
Sean Willer, if you listen, man, it's all love over here, man.
He's a diehard fan.
He's a diehard fan.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing bad to say about Sean Willer. He's a diehard Bearcat fan too, man. He be at the Bearcat games all the time, showing love and support, man. I ain't got nothing but mad respect for Sean Willer, man. Any man that work hard like that and take care of his family like that, you ain't gonna have me saying nothing bad about him.
He's not talking bad, but we need to give him intervention with love. Well, I mean, if you want to bring him on the show, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, let's bring Sean on, man. I know how Sean
you know what though? That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, a sports intervention. You know,
have a debate.
Hey, Sean Will, if you're listening, we're looking for you. Come on, man.
Let's have a debate.
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna take nothing away from the man. Guess what? The man has been 20 years in the
20
league.
years in the league, man.
20 years, about to break the all-time scoring record. So
yep.
And you know what? Can you say?
I didn't like him the first 15 years of his career, but then somewhere along the line, he saw the light. He saw the light. He signed with the Lakers, and we've been cool.
Yeah, I'm cool with him. T-Lee.
I'm cool with him. He played for the Lakers, man. So anybody know me know that I'm a diehard Lakers fan. I like the Hornets too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a diehard Lakers fan. So as long as he was Lakers,
I'm looking very forward to this year.
I'm looking forward to us being a 7 seed too and winning that play-in game, and then get ready to play in the first round of the playoffs and maybe losing 7 games in the first round, man. I'm excited too.
I'm excited. I'm so excited right now.
I just can't hide it.
Well, I heard Anthony Davis got hurt coming out the tunnel.
Are you being serious? For real?
I think somebody did say that for real. I don't know.
Did he really get hurt? I mean, these days I can't tell if that's a joke or not. So I mean, I
don't know, man. That might be. That's really unbelievable.
Like he hurt again. I don't know that it's something with his back.
He about big tonight.
Yeah, it is.
Greg Oden, ain't he?
At this point, no, man. At this point, I'll take Draymond Green.
Draymond?
I'll take Draymond. If he up for trade, I'll take Draymond.
Yeah, but he's not. He doesn't give you an offense. We need some offense, though. He doesn't give you an offense. He's just a defender. Packs a good punch and a good defender.
I take that.
I say packs a good punch and he's an excellent defender.
Yeah, he does.
How punch our way to defender?
Man, he would have never done that to Ron Artest. He'd have never done that to Charles Oakley.
Oh no, Charles Oakley had him in a.
I can imagine what that was like.
He would have never done that to Alonzo Mourning.
Oh no,
he'd have never done that to Larry Johnson.
Oh no.
He'd have never done that to Tyrone Hill.
No.
He'd have never done that to Rick Mahorn.
Charles Barkley.
He'd never done that to Charles. He would never done that to Bill Laimbeer.
He'd have done it to nobody in the 90s.
No, never would.
Harold Dawkins.
Or 80s. No.
Sure wouldn't have.
I would Patrick Ewing.
He wouldn't have done it to Karl Malone.
Nah, Karl Malone wouldn't even fall. He just roughed him up. That's what
I ain't gonna get into Draymond Green, man. He's a BI.
That's what Jordan Poole saying. And
Jordan Poole a BI for letting him do it.
Did you see what that was a post on that said? So what happened was I called him triple single. He said next thing I know I seen a donkey charging me.
Wow.
Somebody made a meme. I was like, dang. They're referring to the donkey as Draymond.
Yeah, I understood it.
But yeah, I mean, Jordan Poole did get that Roman Reigns Superman punch. I
thought it was like something from Street Fighter.
You stupid. Oh yeah, speaking of Roman Reigns, Monday Night Raws in Charlotte tonight. 25th 25th year reunion of DX. I'm sure Billy Gunn's not going to be there because he works at AEW, but everybody else will. And
I thought that was gonna be like what is the day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's tonight.
Oh, I thought it was like the 16th or something. I seen it on somebody had it on the flyer or something.
Oh, that's not tonight. That's the 16th.
No, the 24th. It's the 24th.
All right, my bad. I just saw it on Facebook today. My bad.
It's the 24th.
But that's in Charlotte though, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a Spectrum.
All right, man. Going to watch wrestling live is such a disappointment, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, it is. I hadn't been in Spectrum, but I went when it was at the concert.
I went and watched a SmackDown event, a house show in Knoxville, Tennessee, back in 2010, and I never want to go to a live wrestling event again.
It's different. The TV makes it so much better.
Yeah, it's like when you're there, it's like watching a stage play.
Yep, basically. But if you watch it on TV, it raps a lot better.
Yeah, because when you see what be going on during the commercial breaks and stuff, you like that's definitely something you take kids to. That ain't nothing for adults, man.
Especially commentating, especially in our time with Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross. That just made it.
Good God Almighty!
Stop that dang on man! That man has got a family.
He just slammed in the hell.
Oh my God, he killed him.
Oh Lord, what he say? Don't do it. Don't do it. He threw a Rikishi out the cage.
Rikishi, if he landed on his butt, he'd have been all right.
Yeah, I think he landed on his back. he went there. I was a pad on there though,
Yeah. But man, it's just you can tell the happiness with all of us here in the Charlotte metropolitan area right now, man. You just hear the joy in our voices.
It's a great day.
Yeah, man. It's like we finally moved on from a horrible chapter in the franchise's history. Hopefully, going forward, the right moves will be made, the right hire will be made, and the pride of this franchise can be returned. We can have the pride that we had 5-6 years ago. We can have that level of pride again.
People that talk junk about George Seifert, he is not the worst coach that they ever had now.
Well, that brings me to the point. The 1-15 season. You think that's the situation we've been in is worse than that?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I think it is.
And what you want? So you're trying to say is it better to be stabbed or to be shot? I mean,
then it was just kind of like.
Then there were no expectations.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was.
At that time that happened, the franchise experienced. Yeah, I appreciate it. The franchise experienced little success besides 1996 at that time. Mm-hmm. Now we've been to 2 Super Bowls. We've made the playoffs. We had a 5-year stretch where we made the playoffs 4 times. We've had a league MVP. We've had a defensive player of the year. So it's like now we expect more.
Yeah, that's why I say by far I feel like it is to me just. Like I said, the fan base.
Right, because at the time that the 1-15 happened, the franchise was only about 6 years old or something like that.
2001.
Now it's 27 years old. So the newness has worn. At that time, you still had the newness, the kind of where the joy and the pride was still going to be there because of the newness. The newness is gone now. You've had like an entire generation of kids who were born and have become adults and had children of their own now since the inception of the franchise. So you don't have the newness to rely on.
Yeah, you have now I'm having like almost a second generation Panther fan.
Right. Yeah. They're starting. Right, you're in the second generation of Panther fans. You have an entire generation of Panther fans who done seen us go to 2 Super Bowls. So now it's a different expectation, a different feel than it was in 2001. Mm-hmm. And 2001 is like we're just happy to have them. And 2022, we expect something.
We need a Super Bowl now. That's
right.
That's goal 1. I guess pretty much going forward is
right. So first of all, we need to get a winning team together because you can't win it if you ain't in it.
Oh, you know.
Let's build a playoff team, and then once you got a team that's good enough to get in, then we take it from there.
Yeah. We can't have the Cowboy dreams.
No. Well,
and Nick, I know that I started off, but since you're here, I'm still going to turn it over to you to to take us home or however you want to do it.
Oh, okay. Hey, I got you. I'm up here enjoying myself, man. You know, hey, y'all did a good job opening it up, man. I see y'all had the crowd going, so I said,
Hey man, I'm just trying to be like you, man. I watch you and I've learned from it, and I slide it to my repertoire.
You got it, man. You got it down pat. You went in there like a champ. That's a
Hey man, when the starting quarterback is down, the backup has to come in and to fill in and make sure we don't miss a beat, man.
Yeah, we ain't doing no carousels, but yeah, you know.
Quarterback controversy.
Quarterback controversy. But I mean, this was a good topic to jump on a Monday. This was really good, especially a lot of fans have been expressing how the joy of. I'm not saying it's good to see nobody get fired, but it's good to see him go.
Yeah, and just for the record, when someone like that gets fired, they're going to be that's making millions of dollars. That's different for people like us getting fired.
Exactly.
that ain't the same thing.
He's like he's gonna be assed out basically on the street.
Yeah,
it ain't like
he getting $800,000 for the next couple months anyway. So.
And then on top of that, he's still guaranteed $40 million.
Yeah,
sit at home.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna be the welfare officer for Brett Favre, man. I think he's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Nah, come on. Hey man, if that ain't fraud, I don't know what he is.
Hey, for Brett Favre, lock him up.
Now, for all these players that did stuff, they should be able to get in the Hall of Fame.
You get with Big Baby that got caught with PPE fraud.
Who?
Yep.
Big Baby on Glenn Davis.
Glenn Davis. Man, come on, man.
I thought he was in the big three.
he just did three.
Oh hell no! Hey, that man went from the NBA from an NBA champion to a PPP frauder.
And by the way, being an NBA champion, he was just a backup role player. Let's not act like they wanted to cover him.
Nah, but yeah, he was
a recipient of a championship.
Yeah, like let's not act like Big Baby was the difference maker.
Or Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, it's true. I'm glad you said it. You said it, and it's true.
Or Kendrick Perkins, because Kendrick Perkins was saying, "Tell you, I'm the reason they won that championship down there in Boston."
I ain't gonna lie, you gotta read this.
He goes to prison. Big Baby. Oh man. Well,
I'm not even commenting on that. I just wanted you to see it.
Yeah, it'll take a new meaning. Big, whatever you want to call it. I can't say that.
Yeah, maybe him and Brett Favre can be in the same cell. They get that Fed time.
Yeah.
Brett Favre can be with an ankle monitor. He ain't going to prison.
Nope, we know that. Yeah. He's gonna have to pay a fine, probably.
Yeah, pay a fine to the state and do some kind of community charity to the state of Mississippi.
Yeah.
And that's it. You'll never hear about it again.
He'll lose a statue or something.
And we know why.
Yeah. But he ain't gonna lose no statue. I tell you that now. That ain't.
Oh no. He was stealing that money for Mississippi State. I mean, not Mississippi State, for Southern Miss.
They gonna keep that statue up forever.
Hey, that statue probably paid for with that money stolen. So,
yeah, it could have been. Could have been for some more food.
That Brett Favre, that welfare queen. It's funny how you're not hearing certain people talk about that either.
No, it's not in the media like it should be.
And when you look on Facebook or whatever, it's not on certain people's timelines like other things be.
Hey, you ever heard the saying? It's only important to those who think it matters.
Boom. Nothing more I can say.
That's just what it is, man. I mean, no offense to nobody. It's only important to those who thinks it matters.
Nothing more I can say with that one, bro.
Yeah, it's not important. It's not news. It's not a hurricane that's nowhere near the American coast, because they'll report on that before they report on this.
Yeah. And man, I know you didn't tell me to say this. You might get mad at me, but I want to do this. To those of y'all who are listening, man, we want to congratulate Nick this weekend. Man, he's getting married. He's tying the knot to his beautiful bride. Who, if you subscribe to the channel, oftentimes you'll see her on the channel. Some of their other streams and podcasts. They're a beautiful couple. They already have a beautiful young girl of theirs, and I'm happy to see this union. I'm happy to see them together, and I'm happy to see them follow God's command and turn their relationship into a marriage. And I'm excited. I'm going to travel down there to see his wedding because Nick's like a brother to us, that makes her my sister. So and I know Darren, y'all are cousins, so I know I'll see you this weekend too, man. So I'm excited about it. I'm happy for you, man. And I think this is I think marriage is beautiful. I think that anytime God put two people together, we should celebrate it, especially in this time where marriage has been devalued. So I'm happy for you, man. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see you tie the knot and walk down that aisle. Yes,
sir. Yeah, that's what I've been doing today. I had to go pick up my my drip. I had to pick up the drip. I had to come on the road to Men's Warehouse to get my drip.
And man, hey, Men's Warehouse, you're gonna like how you look.
Yeah, I like how you look. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I love Men's Warehouse. My brother got married. We did Men's Warehouse, and when my cousin in Detroit got married, we Men's Warehouse where we had the tuxes and stuff too. So I know y'all gonna be sharp.
They got, man. I'm telling you, man. I feel like that. I'm not a suit and tie person, but I like that. It's perfect giddy up.
Hey man, I can't wait to see y'all guys this weekend, man.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be in the building, man.
Big old O, the big O.
The big O, baby.
And also the hometown of Shelton Benjamin. I know this random. That's where Shelton Benjamin's from.
Yeah.
Yep. And we will have a 360 camera in the building. So
word.
Yeah. 360.
Well, like when I see it after y'all take y'all wedding party pictures, when I run into you at the reception, man, I'm gonna get a pic with you.
Okay, that'll work. Cause we can have pictures.
Might even get one with D-Ron, the three of us, man. We gotta get the
pic. Yeah, get the whole clique, man. The whole clique. Everybody. Like I said, we finna have a good time this weekend, man. It's finna be a very fun event, a new part of my life, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, y'all basically been working like a married couple anyways, so now you're just making it official.
Yeah. So this the real deal. Hold it for you.
Hey, maybe one day I'll be like y'all one day. But not today.
Hey, well, let me know because I'll be there. You already know.
Hey, I gotta find a wife first.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Hey, take your time. They out here.
Yeah, I know.
You won't even realize it.
Yeah, you'll run into them before they run into you.
Hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, man. If and when, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate everybody for pulling up tonight, man. We had a live crowd. I know the NFL football on tonight. People watching that debacle blowout probably at this point. Yeah, man, we'll be back. We might be back Thursday. Anson ain't got a game this week.
I mean, that's up to you, man. I mean, tonight kind of we covered quite a bit. So I mean, that's up to you. If you hit me up, I'll be there. But if you're busy preparing for your wedding and all that, that's understood, man.
We might put it out the next week because this is a bye week. So
yeah,
we'll put it out this weekend. We'll resume normal task next week.
Yeah, you'll have your ring on the next time we pull up.
Yeah, I have my ring on my hand. Yes, sir. But I appreciate everybody for coming through. Charles Holly, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man. Hey, if you had a YouTube channel, I definitely shout you out. I don't know if you do, but we got to get you up on the panel too, because you come up here with some good stuff. So you chill time, and
even our good friend Lee lately. Lee, I mean, I know you're here tonight, but Lee Lomax has been providing good commentary for our high school football coverage.
Yeah, so we appreciate y'all, man. We're gonna end up putting it where y'all can come in and interact too, man. So I'm gonna get that figured out, how to get the link pinned in the chat so y'all can take the link when it's time to, like when we kind of get through breaking stuff down, y'all can come up and ask questions and we just have a good time, man. That's how we're gonna do it.
No doubt.
Oh yeah, but appreciate it, man. We'll see y'all next week. And again, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Share the content, man. We out here. We moving. Our last video did hit 100, so let's see if we can push this video just the same. We're trying to get these videos up in the hundreds. So keep sharing it, man. Keep sharing it to everybody you know. The more you share it, the more the views will go up on it. It'll put us out there in that mainstream of the algorithm. So look, help a brother out.
No doubt.
Help a brother out. But all right, we'll catch y'all next week,
Peace.
Man. Peace.
All right.
All right.